Welcome to all of you. Thanks so much for those of you who are able to check in the chat. It's just good to hear how we're all doing, what we're holding. I'm really aware, as many of you are, of what a time this is and how much the mental health practitioners around us are saying this is going to be the hardest part this next few months, right now through the next few months. And so just encouraging us all as I read the chat and notice tension and worry and some overwhelm and anxiety, and also gratitude and appreciation for fall colors. Just hold yourselves in compassion during this time. We're all holding more than we can even name on some days. And so I just want to note that. And thank you for being here, because part of what can help us feel grounded in this time is creating space for slowness amidst the fast moving pace of life, and for contemplation amidst so much pressing action. So it's in that spirit that we offer soul sessions. You are welcome to be here every week or whenever you can. It's meant to be just a brief time to find a touchstone and to sit still, perhaps in the midst of so much that's swirling around us, including the leaves, which is a kind of nice thing to swirl around us. Feel free to continue checking in the chat if you haven't had a chance already. I'm going to move us into the next piece of our time together, and I'm very grateful and pleased to introduce Mary Kay Brennan, who is the director of our BSW, our Bachelor's in Social Work program, and also a clinical professor there. She also is a member of our Center for Jesuit Education team as a faculty associate. And I'm just so grateful, Mary Kay, that you could be with us and lead us in this soul session today.
Thank you, Jen, sorry. It's so wonderful to see all the faces and scroll through and see names and hold you all in mind as we start our time together. It is the 7th week of the quarter. SU has a new president. We've heard there's not mandatory furloughs as yet. And we are approximately 1 week from Election Day. As is our practice for these contemplations, nothing is expected of or from you. It's sacred time for you to enter in and be here now. So feel free to stop your video if you choose. I invite you to take a deep breath, a deep cleansing inhale and exhale breath. If in a chair, let the back of the chair support your shoulders. Sink more deeply into the seat and ground your feet in the floor. Silence your mind and try to be present in this moment. Breathing in and exhaling. This past Sunday, while taking an early morning walk with my dog Cooper, I was listening to the podcast On Being with Kristen Tippett. The episode was a rebroadcast of the 2015 interview with the late poet Mary Oliver. Oliver alluded to a very difficult and traumatic childhood and spoke of her early life-saving forays into the outdoors, pad and pencil in hand, establishing a lifelong relationship with and inspired by nature in her writing. While sort of taking in the neighborhood trees, filled with leaves, brilliant yellows, orange, and scarlet reds calling to me, I found myself preoccupied and troubled with the weight of things not completed. When, in the interview, Mary Oliver read this poem, "When I am among the trees." How perfect. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches. And they call to me again. "It's simple," they say, "and you have come into this world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine." As you consider this poem, bring to mind this morning and the last day or so. Continue to be mindful of your breathing, taking in a deep breath and exhaling slowly. How have you been distant from the hope of yourself? Perhaps in the rush of a moment, or burdened by the pile of urgent tasks, or interactions with some that are sharp or short, or even brief quiet time for inward listening is non-existent. How or when have you been reminded of your life force that emanates deep from within? The trees stir in their leaves. The light flows from their branches. What has called you to move outside of yourself and inward to your higher self? When did your being stir to express joy, gratitude, and light? When did you have experiences of coming into the world to go easy, to be filled with light and to shine? Was it a moment displayed compassion to another, deep listening and presence, a quiet effort to lighten another's burden? I invite you now to consider an intention or a desire to take with you during the day to find yourself amongst the trees. As been our practice, if you, as you enter back into the space, if you feel moved to enter something into the chat, feel free to do so, or to just take these extra moments to come back to us. I wish you peace in your day.
Thank you, Mary Kay, so much. Gosh, I just want to dwell in that poem and among the trees a bit longer. It was lovely. And for those who want to remain in the space, I will turn the music back on. Feel free to linger a little bit longer and reflect on the words of Mary Oliver and the words of Mary Kay, the questions she offered us. Again, feel free to offer, if you like, into the chat an intention or an inspiration you take with us today. And be well. And we will see you next week.